Hi, I'm Mike Chang. I own six cabins in the Smokies, and I use AirDNA to inform my pricing decisions. Wanted to share how I look at data from AirDNA, and hopefully it can help you as you manage your properties and pricing. So I look at Sevierville since that's where most of my cabins are, and I'm looking at two things: market health, supply and demand in the market, and also I look at rates. Airbnb did an update to their platform about 2 months ago, so just kind of learning a new system. So I'm going to share January and February with you. Okay, so I look at market occupancy. Airbnb has kind of put out a new update where they give you more control over price tier and the layout, so number of bedroom size. So what I look at is I care about how much supply has grown. So one first thing, let's look at market occupancy. 52% in February versus 59% in 53% in 2022. So that is a drop of 1%. January was 45% last month, and in January last year was 48%. So definitely seeing some decline in market occupancy. And then that's kind of proven out when you're looking at active listings. So you can download this data. So I'm going to take a look at this, how much supply has grown, and this looks at how many nights were booked on Airbnb and Vrbo. So that will give us a sense of the demand in the market. So I should do the math here already. So this is the data that I downloaded from AirDNA. And you can see here in so February, for example, about 97,000 nights booked, and about 8,000 active listings. I compare it with the same month the year before. So it's a 13% increase in demand, 22% increase in supply. It's a 9% difference between supply and demand. That is not great. So that's a 9% decline. Similarly, in January, a little over 100,000 nights booked, 8,000 listings, 6% bad. That's not good. So 2 months of not great. We look at last year; it's all generally decent. I mean, anything below 2-3%, I don't really pay too much attention to. That's just kind of the noise in data. So kind of most last year, at least the back half of last year was pretty decent. And if you look back to the beginning of last year, also, pretty significant decline, January, February of 2022. That obviously is comped against some very good months in 2021, which is kind of peak COVID. So I guess the bad news is more supply and demand. But the good news, I guess, is that it was worse last year and it ended up being the somewhat okay year. So hopefully, the trend will be the same this year, and this moderates in the coming months. So that's supply and demand. So kind of generally speaking, market health not looking great. Definitely more supply and demand coming online, but hopefully not terrible. And you can see here, there's a lot more listings that come online in kind of this March period. So I'm going to expect like a pretty significant increase in new construction. And then also kind of the spring months as the winter construction gets completed, the new construction comes online. We're going to see more and more supply coming on the market. So hopefully demands picks up slack. And then I'm going to look at rates here as well. So what's important to me is I want to see, although if there's new supply coming on the market, how are rates? So are people having to slam down their rates in order to pick up those occupancy, or are you still able to kind of maintain your rates? And you can see here, this doesn't really tell you a lot, but just take a look here real quick. 350 in Jan, 348 in Jan 2022 versus 339. So that's a decline. 321 versus 339. So it's telling you that we're losing rates. So people are having to drop rates in order to pick up occupancy because of more competition. Definitely seeing that in our cabins as well. Definitely lower rates than it was last year. So actually, so I did the work here already, looking at rate health. So this is the overall Sevierville market. Looking at rate health, 321 in an average of 321 for average daily rate versus 339, right? It's 8% decline, and then a 18% decline in January. So obviously this is not great news. Last year, at least, they were able to pick up rates, even though there was supply decline. So there's probably more there's more price discipline, but less price discipline now. Maybe there's just a lot more new owners, people with higher price properties that are needing to make their mortgage payments that are, having a little less discipline on price and just kind of cutting price to fairly low levels. And then one other cool thing that they added here was you can, it gives you rate by tier. So luxury, upscale, mid-scale, economy, budget. So we're kind of broken that out here too as well. So, not only, so this kind of tells you the market overall, but this will tell you within, kind of where you fall within budget, right? So, or, what kind of price tier you fall under. And you can see here that, the low end and the high end of the market are kind of doing okay, right? It's pretty flat here. So, if you're kind of if things are very cheap, they're not getting cheaper. They're kind of holding their prices, which is you kind of see the numbers here. It's flat. And if you're a luxury unit, you're actually able to still continue to take price. People that have funds to travel continue to spend, so that's good. But look, if you're here in the mid tier here, in economy, mid scale, and upscale, they'll look pretty similar. You're all kind of like it's all kind of high single digit declines. So we're kind of here. So we're definitely seeing this as well. So, this is what the data says, right? Obviously, everyone's situation is different. This doesn't encompass everything in the market, but it does include all the Airbnb and Vrbo listings, which is significant, right? Which is, over 8,000 listings. So gives you a pretty good sense of what's going on in the market. So definitely reflecting this in our pricing decisions, and as we look at March and April and trying to fill out, the calendar. This definitely is something that we're paying attention to. So I hope this helps. And if you have any questions, please leave in the comments, and have a great rest of the day.